I was driving past St. David's Hospital on my way to pick up groceries when I saw it. An old, beat-up Honda Civic with primer spots on the doors, parked under a tree in the far corner of the lot. Nothing unusual about that, except for the man sitting in the driver's seat, hunched over what looked like a fast food bag. My son, Daniel. I pulled into the space next to him and got out. The November wind cut through my jacket as I walked around to his window. He didn't notice me at first. He was too focused on the food in his lap, eating like he hadn't had a meal in days. When I tapped on the glass, he jumped so hard he nearly dropped everything. "Mom!" His face went pale. "What are you doing here?" "I could ask you the same thing, sweetheart. What are you doing eating in your car in a hospital parking lot?" I looked at the worn interior, the duct tape holding the passenger seat together. "And what happened to your truck? The F-250 you just bought for the business?" Daniel's eyes darted away from mine. He set down his burger. It's in the shop." "For 3 weeks?" I hadn't seen him drive it in nearly a month. "Dan, what's going on?" "Nothing, Mom. Everything's fine. Don't lie to me. I've known you for 34 years. Where's your truck? Where's your work van? Why are you driving this?" I gestured at the Civic. He stared at the steering wheel for a long moment. When he finally looked up, his eyes were red. "Vanessa has them." "What do you mean Vanessa has them?" "Those are your work vehicles. You need them for jobs. She said we needed to consolidate vehicles to save money. She's been using the truck for her errands, and Monica's been borrowing the van." Monica, Vanessa's best friend who'd practically moved into their house 6 months ago, the one who was supposedly going through a hard time and needed a place to stay. "Your wife is using your work truck for errands," I said slowly, trying to keep my voice even. "And you're eating dollar menu food in a car that looks like it belongs in a junkyard." "Daniel, where's Tyler? Where's your son?" His face crumpled. "He's with them." Vanessa said, "I work too much, that I'm never home, so it's better if I stay at the motel near the job site during the week. She says it saves gas money." "You're living in a motel?" "Just on weekdays. I see Tyler on weekends." "Sometimes." He wiped his eyes quickly. "Look, Mom, I really need to get going. I have a job in Round Rocket too. How are you getting there without your truck?" "I'm borrowing this from one of the guys on the crew. His teenager doesn't need it right now." I stood there in that parking lot, watching my son, my strong, capable son who'd built his own electrical contracting business from nothing, reduced to this, living in a motel, eating cheap food in a borrowed car, separated from his child. "Daniel James, you look at me right now." I used the voice that had made him clean his room as a kid, the one that still worked sometimes. "This is not okay. Something is very wrong here." "Mom, please. I can't. If I make waves, she said if I cause problems, I'll never see Tyler again. She's got custody. I'm barely hanging on as it is." "What do you mean she's got custody?" "You're married. You have equal rights. She filed something. Temporary custody order while we work things out. Her lawyer said it's standard." "Her lawyer?" My hands started shaking. "When did she get a lawyer?" 2 months ago. Right after she stopped depositing my paychecks. "I'm sorry, what?" Daniel looked like he was going to be sick. "She has access to the business account. She's the bookkeeper. Has been since we started the company. A few months back, she said we needed to be more careful with expenses, that she'd pay me an allowance so I wouldn't overspend. But the allowance keeps getting smaller. Last week it was $200. For the whole week, I felt rage building in my chest, hot and sharp. And the business income, where's that going? She says it's going into savings, for Tyler's college fund, and the house payment, and I don't know, Mom. Every time I ask, she shows me all these papers with numbers and tells me I don't understand accounting. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm just stupid." "You are not stupid. You built a business from the ground up. You have 15 employees. You landed that contract with Dell last year." I grabbed his hand through the window. "Daniel, listen to me. This is financial abuse. This is not okay." "Don't say that. She's not abusing me. She's stressed. Taking care of Tyler is expensive. The house is expensive. I need to work more, make more money, that's all." You're working 70-hour weeks and living in a motel eating dollar menu food while she drives your $50,000 truck. Dan, this is abuse. He pulled his hand back. I have to go. Please, Mom. Don't make this harder than it already is. I watched him drive away in that terrible car, and I knew what I had to do. And Dan. The ceremony by. The next morning, I called my old colleague, Patricia Chen. We'd worked together in family law for 15 years before I retired. If anyone could help me understand what was happening, it was her. Barbara, how are you? What can I do for you? I need to ask you about a case. Hypothetically. Uh-oh. Whose case? My son's. Well, he doesn't know it's a case yet. I told her everything Daniel had said. The vehicles, the money, the custody order, the motel. Patricia was silent for a long moment after I finished. Barbara, that's not hypothetical financial abuse. That's actual financial abuse combined with coercive control. And if she filed for temporary custody without cause, that's parental alienation. This is serious. What can we do? First, don't do anything that could make it worse. No confronting the wife, no showing up at the house. We need documentation. Bank records, business records, anything showing the financial manipulation. And we need to know what that custody order actually says. How do I get that without Daniel knowing? He's so scared of losing his son, he won't fight back. Patricia sighed. That's the problem with these cases. The victim is so beaten down, they can't see a way out. Does Daniel have access to any of the business records? He owns the business. He should have access to everything. Should? Yes. But does he? I thought about that. Daniel had mentioned Vanessa handling all the bookkeeping. What if she'd locked him out? I'll find out, I said. That afternoon, I drove to the job site in Round Rock. Daniel was up on a ladder running wire through a commercial building. When he came down for his break, I was waiting with 2 bottles of water and sandwiches I'd made. Mom, what are you doing here? Bringing my son lunch. Is that a crime? I handed him a sandwich. How's the job going? Fine. We're ahead of schedule. That's good. Must be bringing in good money. He didn't answer. Just took a bite of his sandwich. Dan, I need you to do something for me. I need you to log into your business account. Just check it. Make sure everything's okay. Mom, please, for me. Just check. He sighed and pulled out his phone. A minute later, his face went white. It says my password is incorrect. Try resetting it. It's asking for security questions I don't remember setting up. And the recovery email. That's not my email. That's Vanessa's. When did that change? I don't know. She handles all this stuff. She probably changed it for security reasons. Daniel, she locked you out of your own business account. No, there's gotta be an explanation. I'll ask her tonight. You do that. And while you're at it, ask to see the custody paperwork. I want to know exactly what it says. He looked at me with those tired, defeated eyes. Mom, please, I know you're trying to help, but you're just going to make things worse. Sweetheart, they can't get much worse than this. I was wrong. They could get worse. And it's 9. That night, Daniel called me at 11. He was crying so hard I could barely understand him. She kicked me out. She said if I ever come back, she'll call the police and say I threatened her. She said I'll never see Tyler again. Where are you? The Motel 6 on I-35. Mom, she won't let me see my son. She changed the locks. All my clothes are still in the house. Everything I own. Stay there. I'm coming to get you. No, Mom, you can't. I don't know what she'll do. I don't care what she does. You're my son, and I'm not leaving you in a motel room. Pack whatever you have. You're staying with me. When I got there 40 minutes later, Daniel was sitting on the curb with a single duffel bag. Everything he owned fit in one bag. My successful, hard-working son, who'd built a 6-figure business, reduced to a duffel bag and a borrowed car. He cried the whole way to my house. Not loud crying, just silent tears streaming down his face as he stared out the window. I don't understand what happened, he said finally. We were happy. We had a good life. When did it all fall apart? Tell me about Vanessa. When did things change? About a year ago. Right after my biggest contract came through. The Dell building. It was a huge job. $250,000. Vanessa was so excited. She said we were finally going to be financially secure. She started talking about upgrading the house, buying new vehicles, maybe even a vacation property. And then she said she needed to manage the money more carefully. She didn't want us to spend it all like lottery winners. She set up separate accounts, took over all the bookkeeping. She said it was for our own good. I thought she was being responsible. When did Monica move in? 6 months ago. Vanessa said Monica was going through a divorce, needed a place to stay. It was supposed to be temporary. But then she just stayed. And Vanessa started spending more time with her than with me. They'd go out shopping, to lunch, to the spa, always together, always spending money. Your money, our money, the business money. I don't know. Vanessa always said it was our money because we were married, so what did it matter? I pulled into my driveway and turned off the car. Daniel, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest. Has Vanessa ever hit you? Hurt you physically? No, nothing like that. She yells, a lot. And she tells me I'm useless, that I'm a terrible father, that Tyler would be better off without me. She says I'm lazy, even though I work 70 hours a week. She says I'm selfish for wanting to see my son. But she doesn't hit me. Emotional abuse, psychological manipulation, financial control. It was all there. Textbook coercive control. Come inside, sweetheart. Tomorrow we're going to start fixing this. And that 01. Over the next 3 days, I worked with Patricia to build our case. First, we got Daniel to file a police report about being locked out of his own home and denied access to his child. Then we started digging into the business. Daniel remembered setting up the LLC with a registered agent service. We contacted them and got duplicate copies of all the original paperwork. The business was in Daniel's name only. Vanessa had never been a legal owner, just an authorized user on the bank account. That was her first mistake. We subpoenaed the business bank records. What we found made me sick. Over the past year, Vanessa had transferred over $160,000 out of the business account into a personal account under her name and Monica's name. Joint ownership. She'd been systematically draining Daniel's business to fund a separate account with her friend. But that wasn't all. She'd also opened 3 credit cards in the business name without Daniel's knowledge. $60,000 in debt across the 3 cards, all spent at luxury stores, vacation rentals, and a car dealership where she'd apparently bought Monica a brand new Lexus. "This is fraud," Patricia said, showing Daniel the statements. "This is theft. This is identity theft. We have her on multiple felonies." Daniel looked at the papers, his hands shaking. "I don't understand. Why would she do this? We were supposed to be partners." I put my hand on his shoulder. "Some people see partners as opportunities. She saw your success as her lottery ticket. And Monica? Accomplice. She knew exactly what was happening, probably encouraged it. We filed a police report for fraud and identity theft. We filed an emergency motion to restore Daniel's access to his home and his child. We froze the joint account that Vanessa and Monica had been using. And then we waited. Add. The police called Vanessa in for questioning 3 days later. According to the detective I'd been working with, she showed up with Monica and a lawyer who immediately advised her not to answer any questions. "But here's the thing," Detective Rodriguez told me over the phone. "We already have the bank records. We have the credit card statements. We have the forged signatures on the LLC documents she filed, trying to make herself part owner. We don't need her confession. We have the evidence. What happens now? We're filing charges. Fraud, theft, identity theft, forgery. And we're investigating Monica as an accomplice. If we can prove she knew about the fraud, she's looking at charges too. What about Tyler? My grandson? The emergency custody hearing is tomorrow. Given that Mrs. Johnson committed fraud and there's no evidence of Mr. Johnson being an unfit parent, I'd say his chances are good." The hearing was at 9 in the morning. Daniel could barely sit still. He'd worn his best suit, gotten a haircut, shaved. He looked like himself again, not the broken man I'd found in that parking lot. Vanessa showed up 20 minutes late, dressed in designer clothes that my son had unwittingly paid for. Monica was with her, looking nervous. The judge reviewed the evidence quickly. The bank records, the police reports, the original LLC documents proving Daniel was the sole owner. Mrs. Johnson, the judge said, looking over his glasses at Vanessa, I'm going to ask you directly. Did you transfer $160,000 from your husband's business account to a personal account without his knowledge or consent? Her lawyer started to speak, but the judge held up his hand. I'm asking Mrs. Johnson. Vanessa lifted her chin. It was my money too. We're married. What's his is mine. That's not how business law works, Mrs. Johnson. The business belongs to Mr. Johnson solely. You were an authorized user, not an owner. You stole from his business. He was wasting money. I was saving it. You were saving it in an account with your friend's name on it? An account your husband didn't know existed? She didn't answer. The judge turned to Daniel. Mr. Johnson, I'm granting you immediate custody of your minor child. Your wife will have supervised visitation pending the outcome of the criminal investigation. I'm also ordering her to return all vehicles and property belonging to you or your business within 48 hours. Do you have a safe place to stay? Yes, Your Honor. I'm staying with my mother. Good. I'm also issuing a restraining order preventing Mrs. Johnson from accessing any business accounts, property, or premises. She is not to contact you except through lawyers regarding the custody schedule. He looked at Vanessa. Mrs. Johnson, I suggest you get a very good criminal attorney. These charges are serious. Daniel started crying right there in the courtroom. Silent tears of relief. In a telling of. We picked up Tyler from Vanessa's mother's house that afternoon. The little boy ran straight to his dad, throwing his arms around Daniel's legs. Daddy, you came back. Mommy said you left us. Daniel scooped him up, holding him tight. I didn't leave you, buddy. I would never leave you. I was just figuring some things out. Are you staying now? Yeah, buddy, I'm staying. I watched my son hold his child, and for the first time in months, he looked like himself again. The broken, defeated man was gone. In his place was the Daniel I knew, strong, capable, fighting. Over the next 2 weeks, things happened fast. Vanessa returned the truck and the van. Though she'd put 10,000 miles on the truck driving who knows where, the business account was restored to Daniel's sole control. He changed all the passwords, all the security questions, everything. The credit card companies agreed to remove the fraudulent debt once they saw the police reports. The cards had been opened using forged signatures. Monica moved out of the house, and Vanessa was formally charged with fraud, identity theft, and forgery. She pled guilty to avoid trial, and the judge sentenced her to 18 months in county jail, followed by 3 years of probation. She'd also have to pay restitution. Monica was charged as an accomplice. She took a plea deal, 300 hours of community service, and 2 years of probation in exchange for testifying against Vanessa. The divorce was finalized 6 months later. Daniel got full custody of Tyler, the house, the business, and everything else. Vanessa got nothing but a criminal record. And 2 SSSSS. A year later, I'm sitting in my backyard watching Daniel and Tyler play catch. Daniel's business is thriving. He hired a real accountant this time, someone with credentials and references. He bought himself a new truck, a proper work vehicle. He moved out of my house into a nice apartment near Tyler's school. But more than that, he's happy, really happy. The weight that had been crushing him is gone. He laughs again. He makes jokes. He takes Tyler to the park without fear that someone will take him away. Mom, he says, walking over while Tyler chases butterflies. I never thanked you. For everything you did. For not giving up on me when I'd given up on myself. That's what mothers do, sweetheart. We fight for our children. Always. I was so blind. I should have seen what was happening. She was good at manipulation. That's what abusers do. They make you doubt yourself until you can't see straight. But you're free now. You both are. Tyler runs over, holding a dandelion. Grandma, make a wish. I take the flower and close my eyes. But I don't need to wish for anything. I have everything I need right here. My son is safe. My grandson is happy. Justice was served. Sometimes the best endings are the ones where the good people win, where the manipulators face consequences, where families get second chances. I blow the dandelion seeds into the wind and watch them scatter across the yard. Tyler chases them, laughing. Daniel watches his son with tears in his eyes, the kind of tears that come from gratitude, not grief. "Thank you, Mom," he says again, "for seeing what I couldn't see, for fighting when I couldn't fight, for being the mother you've always been. Always, sweetheart, always. Because that's what we do. We protect the people we love, even when they can't protect themselves, even when they've been beaten down so far they've forgotten how to stand up. We reach down, and we pull them back up, and we make sure the people who hurt them face justice. Not just settlements, not just agreements, real justice, real consequences. Because that's what family does. We fight for each other, we never give up, we never back down, and we always, always make sure our loved ones know they're worth fighting for.